Dragon Ball Super Remake is real. Yup, you heard that right. A full remake. And before anyone loses their mind, let me say this clearly right now. Take everything I say with a grain of salt until we get an official announcement. I'm not here to sell fake hype. I'm here to explain what I know, where it came from, and why this actually makes sense. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. From what I've heard, this Dragon Ball Super remake has actually been in production way longer than people think. The talks and early planning supposedly started all the way back in 2021, and the main goal of this remake is very simple: to fix Dragon Ball Super in major ways. We're talking about reducing unnecessary filler, fixing pacing issues, removing some of those "why does this exist" moments, upgrading the animation to modern standards, and most importantly, creating a version of Dragon Ball Super that actually feels clean, consistent, and easy to follow. Now here's where things get really interesting. This remake is said to either be a faithful adaptation of the manga or a best of both worlds version that takes the strongest elements from the anime and the manga and merges them into one definitive storyline. But one thing seems very clear from everything I've heard. This remake will include manga content. That alone already changes everything. The remake is expected to cover events starting from the Battle of Gods arc and go all the way up to the Broly arc. And honestly, just imagine that for a second. Beerus's introduction, Super Saiyan God, Resurrection F, Universe 6, Goku Black, Tournament of Power, Broly, all of that, but with modern animation, refined storytelling, better art direction, and consistent power scaling. Ultra Instinct, Gogeta, Vegeta, all those iconic moments, but done properly this time. That alone would already justify a remake. But here's the part that made me genuinely excited when I heard it. This remake is not the end goal. It's the foundation. Because apparently, this Dragon Ball Super remake will directly lead into the Moro arc and the Granolah arc. And when I say lead into, I mean properly adapt them afterward with zero confusion. And honestly, this is the smartest possible move they could make. A lot of people ask, why don't they just animate Moro and Granolah already? And the problem is simple. Where do you even start? Do you continue from Dragon Ball Super episode 131? Do you pretend the anime continuity is the same as the manga? Do you start a brand new series with no setup? That would be insanely confusing, especially for new fans. Right now, Dragon Ball's continuity is a mess. The manga does its own thing, the movies do their own thing, and the anime has its own version of events. For a new fan finishing Dragon Ball Z and moving into Super, it's honestly confusing as hell. A remake fixes all of that. You establish one clean, continuous flow, follow a single timeline, and then smoothly move into Moro and Granolah without needing awkward explanations. In a way, this is basically Dragon Ball Super 2, just handled smarter. Now, I've also heard about a possible name for this remake, and I'm not gonna lie, it sounds funny at first. The rumored name is Dragon Ball Super Z. Yeah, I know, it sounds weird, but honestly, Dragon Ball has done stranger things and we got used to them. This name is not confirmed at all, but it's something I've heard floating around internally, so don't lock onto it, just keep it in mind. What makes this even crazier to me personally is that I made a video a long time ago talking about why Dragon Ball Super needs a remake, and that was before I even knew any of this information. Seeing people all over the internet now using similar thumbnails and concepts honestly makes me grateful. I'm glad that conversation is finally happening, because this remake has been needed for years. Now let's talk about proof, because I know people will say, okay, but where's the evidence? Some time ago, 2 animation sheets were leaked, reportedly from this remake. One of them showed the Super Saiyan God ritual, and someone recreated it into a beautiful piece of art. I'll put their tag on screen because they deserve the credit. The other sheet featured Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and I'm sure some of you have already seen it floating around. I can't show these images myself, because Toei has been extremely aggressive with copyright strikes lately, and I'm not risking the channel over that. But the leaks exist, and they caused a lot of quiet discussion behind the scenes. There's also information going around that Yamamuro, yes, the same character designer heavily associated with early Dragon Ball Super, might be involved in the remake as well. Now, let me be clear. This information is only about 30% confirmed. I genuinely hope it's not fully true, but we'll have to wait and see what comes out during the Genkidamatsuri event. Speaking of Genkidamatsuri, this is where things get even more interesting. From what I've heard, the Dragon Ball Super Remake is expected to be one of the major announcements tied to this event, with a potential release window set for 2026. Yes, next year. Dragon Ball in 2026 might actually be insane if this turns out to be true. And no, I'm not dumping everything I know right now. There are other announcements connected to this, but if there's demand, I'll talk about them one by one. Slowly. Properly. Before we wrap up, it's shoutout time. Today's shoutout goes to Yasinulansari 7016, who said they're hoping for either Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 or Dragon Ball Super Kakarot. And honestly, Dragon Ball Super Kakarot is a really interesting idea. As for what game is getting announced, I genuinely don't know. That one is a mystery even to me. So yeah, that's everything for now. Remember, take all of this with a grain of salt, but also don't ignore how much sense it makes. If this remake is real, Dragon Ball is about to enter a brand new era. A cleaner, stronger, more unified era. Like the video if you want to support the channel, subscribe if you're new, and let's push for that 10,000. We're getting close. Until next time, see ya.